Sorry for the delay this evening. Just came out of a non-public meeting real quick. If you kindly rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to have Nora Campbell, she's Girl Scout Nora Campbell, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, on announcements. Today is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Let us pause to reflect on the sacrifice made by many Americans at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, and during the grim struggle which followed. We would like to extend our condolences to the families and friends of Jessica Wyman, who passed away Tuesday, November 28th, at the age of 52. Jess was a firefighter for over 26 years. She worked for the Merrimack Fire Department as a firefighter paramedic from 1992 to 2001, and then she moved on to work for the National Fire Department for 16 years, where she was the first female firefighter to be promoted to the rank of lieutenant in the department history, retiring in 2017. Her career was extensive and impressive, which also included a rescue specialist for Massachusetts Task Force 1, several positions at Southern New Hampshire Medical Center, and in 2021, she graduated from Eastern Kentucky University, receiving her Doctor of Nursing practice. So if we'll have a moment of silence for Jess, I appreciate it. Thank you. We have an announcements following days we're having meetings. December 21st is a regular meeting at 7 p.m. here in the Matthew Thornton Room. Wednesday, January 10th at 6:30 p.m. is a budget meeting. Thursday, January 11th, 2024 at 7 p.m. is a regular meeting. And lastly, Wednesday, January 17th at 6:30 p.m. will be a budget meeting. Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Property tax bills are due Friday, December 29th. If you have not received your bill yet, please reach out to the Town Clerk Tax Collector's Office at 603-424-3651. The annual food drive is taking place now through December 31st. Non-expired canned food and non-perishable items accepted at the following locations throughout town buildings: Highway and Equipment Maintenance Complex at 76 Turkey Hill Road, Fire Department at 432 Daniel Webster Highway, Police Department at 31 Babuzik Lake Road, Merrimack Public Library at 470 Daniel Webster Highway, Public Works Administration at the lower level of Town Hall, 6 Babuzik Lake Road, and also at the upper level of Town Hall, Transit Station Recycling Building at 1 Farron Road. Some suggestions of donations include toiletries, hygiene products, applesauce, juice boxes, canned soups, macaroni and cheese, pasta, canned tuna, canned fruits and vegetables, crackers, cereal, bottled water, baby formula, diapers, and baby wipes. All food donated will be broken up between the 2 food pantries in Merrimack at St. John Newman and St. James Methodist Church. The police department would like to remind residents that the town of Merrimack's winter parking ban and impeding snow removal are in effect. No vehicle or trailer shall be parked on any public street between the hours 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. from November 15th through April 15th. Further, no vehicle shall be parked on any public street or highway from November 15th through April 15th in such a manner to impede snow removal. The Merrimack Police Department and the Merrimack Public Works Department ask all residents to assist them in their efforts to maintain safe roads and highways by complying with these requests. Thank you for your cooperation in advance. And finally, Monday, December 18th, from the hours of 12 noon to 1:30 p.m., Town Hall will be closed for an employee gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Next on the agenda, comments from the press and public. If you'd like to address the council about upcoming agenda items, you can sit at the table here or stand to the mic. See no one? Recognitions, resignations, and retirements. We have none. Appointments. Our first on the agenda is a public hearing to consider the recommended amendment to Charter Article 6-1B, Conservation Commission of the Town of Merrimack Charter. And it's this one. What we've done is allowed for a student representative to be appointed by the school board, and then the council would be recommended to the council, and council would be approving that position. And it's a one-year position, and the Conservation Commission had brought this forward a few months ago now, and was a really nice idea, we thought. So,
Just a little bit other on that, Mr. Chairman, is that this position will be an individual of a non-voting member, and this member will not count towards quorums for this Conservation Commission. Reason being is that RSA's, Conservation Commission membership is governed by RSA's.
Yep.
So the best way that we thought to do this is to make them as a student representative, like you said, and not have them being able to vote, but they can still participate in the meeting.
Yep.
And this has to go before because, as a charter amendment, because our Conservation Commission membership is written into our town charter. So this will meet the requirements. We'll get this up to the state. They have 45 days to review it, give us back their determination. We'll once again have to hold a public hearing to place it on the town warrant, and then it'll go to the town warrant.
very good. Well, this is a public hearing, so I'm going to open it at 7:10. If anybody would like to speak to this item, you could step to the mic or have a seat at the table. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:11. What's the pleasure of the council? You have to find a minute space.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
No, this is a public
Is
hearing.
it?
So,
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Make a motion to approve the consideration recommendation amendment to Charter Article 6-1B Conservation Commission of the Town of Merrimack.
Second.
motion by Andy, seconded by Barbara.
A little
Sorry about
friendly on that amendment, if I may.
Yep.
And have pass along to the town clerk to present to the proper authorities, DRA, Attorney General, and Secretary of State for their approval.
Thank you, Paul.
Accept the amendment.
All right. Tom?
I just want to confirm that in our package, there was two options listed. We're talking about option one,
That is correct.
Yeah.
which is just to have a representative and not to have an additional member.
That is the
Okay,
request
thank
to
you.
move forward.
Just wanted it to be clear.
No, very good. All right, no, if there's no further discussion, I'll call the question on the motion. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed or abstain? 700. Legislative updates. Are there any legislators here? I see none at a glance. Paul, did you have anything? Nancy?
I see one next to
I
me.
know it, my mistake. Are you
No,
all
we
set?
did not get an email today.
Okay. Town manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We received an email that the Merrimack Journal Sunday Select publication will be no longer delivered in the town of Merrimack starting January 1st. This poses a situation that the town council, I remember, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, said that all public hearing notices would go in the Sunday Select because that was a local paper. We do properly notice all our meetings in the Union Leader. The Nashua Telegraph is a weekend paper now. It's not a daily paper anymore. So with that being is that I just want to let everybody know that if they want to sign up for public hearing notices or meeting notices, we have a way on our website. If you're interested, you can sign up specifically for items and you get the public agendas request if we're having public hearings through your email. We also post them at Town Hall. However, because the Sunday Select is no longer a viable option, we will not have a paper in Merrimack to post those public hearing notices in.
I thought we stopped that a little while ago.
No, we
actually.
kept it going.
All right,
We've been keeping it going as long as
till it went.
till it went, and it went. So, the river trail is progressing with the contractor completing portions of the concrete work and the bulk of the excavation on the trail subgrade. In the next few weeks, the contractor will continue with drainage installment, concrete repairs, and placement of a concrete support wall, all weather dependent. As of December 1st, the wastewater treatment facility has stopped the sale and giveaway of compost for the 2023 season. Resident cards for compost giveaway for the 2024 season can be obtained as of February 1st, 2024. The sales and giveaway of compost will resume mid-March of 2024, weather dependent. Once again, the wastewater treatment facility recently completed the startup and testing of their new emergency generators as part of the ongoing Phase 3, 4, and 5 upgrade. This represents a significant milestone. This project now is 80% complete and with anticipation of a final completion of July 24th, 2024. So the project is moving right along.
Thank you, Paul. On the consent agenda, we have the acceptance of recommended changes to Chapter 142 Parks and Recreation Areas of the Merrimack Town Code pursuant to Charter Article 5. Somebody like to move the consent agenda?
Make a motion to move the consent agenda.
Thanks, Andy.
And I'll make a second.
Seconded by Mackenzie. A motion by Andy, second by Mackenzie. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, 700. We have no old business. Under new business, we have Girl Scout Nora Campbell here to present to the council her proposed Girl Scout Silver Award project to fix up the dressing room area of the Wasserman Park Theater, as well as build wings on the sides of the stage that would be able to hide actors when they're not on the stage. Nora, I don't know if you'd like to sit here to make your presentation?
Make sure your microphone's on.
The green light will shine.
Right, that's it. There you go.
I asked you to come and lead us in the pledge, and I almost forgot. That's an old guy thing. Sorry about that.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nora Campbell. I'm an 8th grader at the Merrimack Middle School, and I am a cadet level of Girl Scouts. So, a Girl Scout Silver Award is the highest award that a Girl Scout of my level can earn. As a junior, I earned the Bronze Award, which you can see here on my vest, which is a 20-hour project, and then a Silver Award is a step up as a 50-hour project. So, in this project, the Girl Scout has to fix or improve a problem that there has noticed in the community. And then there's also a project advisor and a project mentor. So the mentor is someone who is skilled in the area of expertise and can assist along the way. So for the project that I chose to do is to fix up the Wasserman Theater area, which is down by the lake. So I chose to do this because I love the arts. I've done many productions, 2 of which were in the space of the theater. I dance at Broadway Bound Performing Arts Center. I do the drama club at my middle school. And compared to like the stage of the school and of the Amato Center, which is where I do my dance recitals, I realize that this space is just underutilized and I want to change. So for this project, I plan on cleaning, updating, and providing a facelift to the entry and dressing room areas, which is in the basement of the theater space, and then also installing wings on the stage to hide the offstage cast so that the audience can't see them during the performances. So in October, we went on a walkthrough with Matt Kasparis, who is the Parks and Rec director and my advisor, and then the Merrimack Middle School theater director, who is my drama club teacher, Jeff Karen, and the Home Depot assistant manager, David Campbell. So this is the Wasserman Theater building, which, like I said, is down by the lake. So the main entrance is to the door on the right. And then here you can take a closer look of the windows that are starting to rust. And this is the inside of the entryway. So this picture is taken right in front of the doorway, which will lead to the stage. So even from this picture, which is standing in the center of the room, you can see how you can see that everything off stage, which is if there were a cast to hide there, you'd be able to see them, including any stage crew, which the point is for them to not be seen when moving props. And then to the left of the stage, you can see the stair entryway, which leads down to the dressing room. So the top right right picture is where I was standing at the bottom of the stairs, and you can see the closet door towards the back of the picture, which is where I plan on putting the dressing room and changing stalls. So you can see that it's just a small closet. So the plan for this project, for the entry, it's to clean it up, paint the walls, replace the ceiling tiles, and add an informational meeting plaque. So the Wasserman's family, their daughter, loved the arts just as much as I do, and they made an agreement that there would be at least one free performance open to the public every year in this space, which is what the theater camp is in the summer, which is normally held in August. This past summer, it was held in late July, and I attended this theater camp last year and in 2019. So you can see how these ceiling tiles are kind of chipping and delaminating. So for the stage is to install 2 4-foot wide stage to rafter wings on each side of the stage, which in the theater world are called legs, and to add storage above the stairs. So for the dressing room is to replace the walls and to install new ceiling panels to cover the exposed joists, as right now you can see that there really is no ceiling there and you can just see all the wood. And then to fix the fluorescent lights and to either paint the cement floor or to install vinyl flooring, and then to update the mirror and lighting on the wall, and then to get some furniture in this space. So we were planning on patio furniture just in the space that the conditions that this space is in. We would think that would fit best, and then to maybe insulate the exterior basement walls. So for the changing stalls, I plan on building 2 portable changing stalls made out of a cloth and PVC pipe. So the dressing walls will break into 2 pieces so you can hang them on the wall and it will be out of space if you would need the space for anything. And then to build a wood bench attached to the wall in each stall. So the first 2 things I have to do is to secure the necessary approvals. So the Parks and Rec approval I had in November 2023, the town council is today, and then the Girl Scouts of the Green and White Mountain will be around January. And then also in January is to finalize the designs and materials list I might need for the project. And then later is construction, painting, and then the ribbon cutting by June so that the space will be ready for the theater camp in either July or August. So as you can see, there are 2 options for the totals, the basic and the upgrade. So when we were going through the materials, we found that there's stuff that would be nice in this space, but then stuff that is probably more realistic in terms of what we'd want to do. For example, the walls, it would be nice to have insulation, but it would definitely be more expensive than we'd like, which is why the upgrade wall cost is about $300 more than the basic. So to fund all this, and if you had any questions on where we got all those totals, there are further slides on that if you'd like to see those. There's monetary donations from Girl Scouts, Home Depot, and then other nonprofit organizations such as the Lions Club and Laura's World, and then also donations of materials. So I've been in touch with Home Depot, and they said that they like to donate some materials for the project, such as wood for the wings on the stage, and then also just fundraising. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
I don't even have my mic on, so there we go. So I appreciate all that, but it looks like you have your work cut out for you, as I haven't been in this, in a theater building for probably 10 years now. It's been a while, and so I appreciate all you have planned to do. It's going to be a project, and you obviously are going to be very capable. I can already tell. But Nancy,
I just want to say what a phenomenal presentation you just did. I'm so impressed. I was once, a few years ago, a Girl Scout cadet myself.
2 years
Just
ago?
A few years ago. Yeah. I said a few, not two. And I think it's a great project. I know my kids have gone to theater camp and Broadway Bound, and there's such great work and great community involvement. And I think that's a phenomenal thing to do, and so many people will benefit for that. Not only the kids, but the people that go and see that, and just really bringing it up a notch. So I'm very impressed, and well done, well done.
Thank you.
Barbara.
So I was a cadet Girl Scout as well.
2 years ago.
Yeah, maybe
2 years,
times two,
maybe 3.
3 or 4. And in those days, the equivalent was the first class badge, which I also got. So I can appreciate the work you're going through. I am going to ask you one question though, because yes, you are getting some donations from different places, but you're going to have to do some fundraising as well as get your, army of volunteers in line to help out. So how are you going to do your fundraising? Or what will you be doing for your fundraising? Yeah, help Dad, help.
That's a great point. So she's actually already started with that. So if you want to talk about what we've done on Tuesday night.
So Tuesday night I visited the Lions Club meeting, and I did the same presentation to them, and they were interested in helping with the fundraising, and then also just any project help days that I may host in the future. So helping with that. And the Girl Scouts, there was a graduating troop that left a sum of money for projects such as these. So just $150 around to maybe like help with the wings or something that's a bit bigger, like the changing stalls. That's a bit more of a need for the project. And then Girl Scouts sell cookies, so any of that cookie dough money I may make could also help with this project.
Okay, well, as you go along and you think of other fundraising events, make sure you broadcast it out on social media, because this town is really good about getting out and helping the scouts, whether it's Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, with getting their projects done. So, and oftentimes they have money left over. So that's how successful they are with their fundraising. So don't be afraid to let people know. And you may see a bunch of us sitting back there helping with the Girl Scout cookies.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So yes, and so she had also reached out to Amanda Skinner, who's the store manager over in the Merrimack store here locally. So I'm Dave, by the way, her dad, also the assistant store manager for Salem, New Hampshire, Home Depot. I did happen to see Amanda just a couple of days ago. She was helping us prep for our inventory, neither here nor there, but I did happen to run into her. So she did mention to me that she would be happy to help out with the donations. And then also, for those of you who aren't familiar, Home Depot does have a Team Depot project that they do to help benefit local local projects such as these ones. So in terms of your army of people, that was just one of the sources, and Nora has other ones that she can tell you about in terms of supplying manpower to get that done. And as you saw from her timeline, there's different phases and different needs that need to be done there, which she has more than accounted for in terms of
Right.
construction and painting, and
Oh,
no
perfect.
painting in February so much, but
Congratulations, because this is one of the bigger projects I think we've seen, at least at my time on the council. So it's quite the undertaking. Good luck.
Gonna be a lot of work, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd also like to add, I'm just so impressed by your presentation, and thank you for all the work that you've put into this project and planning it. And if you do need people to help out, please feel free to reach out. I myself would love to come and help for a day. So if there's anything you need, I'm sure there's people in this town, as Town Councilor Healy mentioned, that would love to give to your project too. So again, thank you. I know how much this is used by all of the kids who go to the summer camps, and is used a lot by the Parks and Rec department. So just thank you again for all of the work you put into this planning.
Well, I just wanted to say I was not a cadet. Back in my day, I don't think there was cadets in my day. Anyway, I just wanted to reiterate that. And I thought I was particularly interested in what your motivation was, because I was looking at your the presentation prior, because we got the paperwork, and I was just curious as to what stimulated you, and clearly you made that obvious. So good luck to you. You're gonna do a good job.
Thank you.
So, what is the pleasure of the council?
I think one of the former cadets ought to make a motion.
Yeah, one of the former cadets should do it. That's right.
Okay. Do you want me to make a motion?
Sure, go
Okay.
ahead.
I'll make a motion that the town council approve the proposed Girl Scout Award project to fix up the dressing room of the Wasserman Park Theater, as well as build wings on the side of the stage to hide actors when they're not on the stage.
Second.
Motion by Mackenzie, second by Nancy Murphy. Any further discussion on your motion? No? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 7-0-0. I don't know if the town manager has to sign anything for you or do anything. If you need anything, you can just give them a call or see them at any time. Get that taken care of. But we're looking forward to this. It's going to be a great project.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
The age. just
They
can't-
always like. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah,
No,
I never thought of it.
No.
fantastic job. Yep. Wonderful.
All righty. Item number 2 under new business. Council to issue a proclamation designating December 16th, 2023 as National Wreaths Across America Day in the town of Merrimack. I do somewhere. Yeah.
I think we put the proclamation in
Is it-
your bin, your file, I hope.
It's,
I hope.
it is here.
All right.
It was buried. All right. I will read this. The Town of Merrimack Town Council Proclamation, National Wreaths Across America Day, December 16th, 2023. Whereas a national nonprofit organization, Wreaths Across America, was founded in 2007 and coordinates wreath-laying ceremonies at Arlington National Cemetery, as well as at more than 3,400 additional locations in all 50 states at sea and abroad. And whereas the mission of Wreaths Across America is to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. And whereas Wreaths Across America has chosen Serve and Succeed as its 2023 theme to encourage youth to get involved in their own communities, to serve in even small ways that can make a big impact. And whereas Wreaths Across America is made up of more than 2,200 participating locations across the country, run by dedicated volunteers looking to share the mission to remember, honor, and teach through annual wreath-laying ceremonies each December and awareness and education events throughout the year. Now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the Town Council of the Town of Merrimack, hereby proclaim December 16th, 2023 as National Wreaths Across America Day in the town of Merrimack, New Hampshire, and extend our thanks and appreciation to our veterans for their service and sacrifice, and to Wreaths Across America for bringing this honor to our community. Proclaimed the 7th day of December 2023 by the Merrimack Town Council. There we go.
I just want to pass the mic really to Nancy. She's the one who's been really dealing with the Wreaths Across America and through the town over the last couple of years. and Nancy has more information about this.
Yeah, I just want to remind people that that event will be held here December 16th at 12 noon at Last Rest Cemetery. Everybody's invited. We welcome community members. We have a lot of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and other volunteer groups in the community, as well as veterans, their families. We have, with the donations that we've received from the community, been able to purchase wreaths for all deceased veterans at all of the cemeteries in Merrimack. And on that day, the service is held at 12 noon, and it's across the nation. It's the same date every year. So we'll all be doing it together. The ceremony's usually pretty quick, 15, 20 minutes maybe. And then we disperse to different areas of the cemetery. And if family members are present, they can put the wreath on their loved one's grave. So it's really pretty remarkable. It's a wonderful ceremony. We have a lot of people turn out. And following this usually around 1:45 or so, we cross the street to Our Lady of Mercy Church, and in the basement there's some refreshments that are donated by Franklin Savings Bank, and there's the Knights of Columbus help serve and prepare and coordinate that. So we're hoping to see you all there on December 16th at 12 noon.
Thank you, Nancy. It's a wonderful program. All right. We'll move on. Item number, Paul? Oh, yes. Sorry about that.
So moved.
Motion by Nancy, seconded by Barbara. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained, 700. Thank you, Paul, for the reminder. All right. Item number 3 under new business. Resident Todd Gamache has requested a septic line easement to allow the sewer line from the property on 17 Jeb Road to cross under the road and into the septic system located on 16 Jeb Road. Is Don here? Oh, there we go.
People here.
You have Leo squared
Leo
tonight
squared.
to discuss these next few items.
The next,
Don must be in her stride. That's,
Now Dawn is happy that she doesn't have to be here.
so, item number 3, thank you, members of the council. Thank you for hearing our request here. The first request we have is septic line easement on Jeb Road. The resident has a failed septic system. They are rebuilding the septic system, and their intent is to put it on across the road. So their house is on 17 Jeb Road. Their plan is to put the septic system on 16 Jeb Road. And so they're requesting an easement across the road. This also helps, just by the way, our water quality issues in Babusick Lake. The house is on the lake side of the road, and by putting the septic system on the upland side of the road, that just helps our water quality issues.
yeah.
And the owner owns both parcels.
Yes.
They own both.
What's the net effect of granting an easement like this? Why do we have to grant an easement? They just run a pipe under the road and be done with it?
Because it goes under the road, it goes under the public property, so, yeah.
And does the easement do anything except to allow them to do that?
Just allows them to install that and maintain it if needed, so.
And maintain it if needed? And they need a 30 by 35 foot area? Is that what?
Basically.
That's a
it's-
pretty big pipe.
Well, it's a small pipe, but it's a good size. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit.
Bottom right.
Wow. No, you got to use the elevator bars.
Oh, sorry, first time. So the easement allows for actually access with heavy equipment and backfilling and what have you. So when they open it up, they'll need a little bit more room to be able to access that 4-inch pipe. You're right, the 4-inch pipe is just 4 inches wide, so it doesn't need that much room, but accessing it does.
So does the easement restrict the town of Merrimack in any way, or is it?
No, No, it just allows the homeowner to be able
Gives them the
to
authority
legally
to do
cross
that if they need to.
Correct.
But they would repair and replace anything that they tore up or fixed or repaired,
Correct.
whatever.
Yep,
And that's all part of the easement, that
Mhm.
they're responsible for anything they do there.
correct. Yep.
Are there any costs associated with the deed and all the change and everything?
Not to the town,
It's all paid by the homeowner.
by the home.
They were the ones who approached us.
The
And-
only thing I noticed in the easement deed is there's no lines. Just a quick one-letter addition. It says the grantee shall at the grantees or their successors or assigns sole cost and expense repair and service. I think that should be a D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down of the big paragraph.
And
I hate being
And
that guy.
repair and surface disruptions, A&D.
okay, we'll have that.
Yeah, we can make the change before we sign it.
Yeah.
Barbara?
So question for you, will they have that road, Jeb Road, blocked off entirely while they're doing this? Because there are houses beyond that point.
Yep.
And I'm just thinking about how do we get emergency vehicles down there if we need to? Because it does not appear, I've been down there before, but it's been
Yeah.
a while. I don't think there's a back way in.
There isn't. It's a single lane in. I believe there's only one house in beyond this, and then there's a camp. But the contractor who we spoke with first said that they would be able to run the line and run road plates over the top so that they could maintain access all the time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Any further comments or questions? You just need approval for the deed, Paul?
Yes.
Like somebody like to make a motion?
I
Yeah.
move to approve the septic line easement request by Todd Gamache for access over Jeb Road between 16 and 17 Jeb Road for sewer line, as outlined in the discussion tonight. And give the town manager approval to sign any documents necessary.
By Tom Koenig, seconded by Barbara. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? 700. All right. Desire the town council to consider a request to revise an existing drainage and slope easement on Cider Lane.
Mhm.
Yeah, square.
So this one's a little bit different. This is an existing easement that we have for an existing drainage area on Cider Court. This was part of the Greenfield Farms development a few years ago. And I'm gonna skip ahead to the best figure of this. This figure shows both the existing easement in red and blue. And the blue area is the part that we want to keep. It's on our existing road, easement road. And this accesses a sediment basin further down on the kind of the backside of Cider Court. And the homeowner has asked to have the red piece right here basically given back to them. There's really no need for us to have that property, so it's not really a big deal to us. The homeowner would like to, actually, he's got small kids, so he'd like to put a fence up, and that would be beneficial for him.
Yeah, this all started because he came to myself and Don a while ago, and he wanted to square up his property line with it. We went out and looked at it, and our trucks, by doing that, can still turn in and still access the drainage easement that we do have down in that area. So Don felt that if he was really interested, he'd draw up all the paperwork, which he did do, came back to us on this. And this is, we're going to keep the blue and basically give him back that portion of the easement. That blue keeps it so that we can get our trucks in going down to the
Right.
drainage area. Not the catch basin so much, but the
And Mr. Conte, is this, any costs associated with it, they're taking care of it, you
Yes.
know? Yep, I imagine.
So if I understand correctly, we're basically giving back the easement. Is that
Part-
correct?
Part of it.
Part of the.
The red part.
Part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the whole area we had an easement. The only thing we want is the blue.
Mm-hmm.
And so the red is still his property anyway.
Yeah,
It's just the
that's all.
easement.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Right, he,
Blue
with,
is his property too.
with
Oh, okay.
loses property,
Understood.
however, and with easement documents such as this, you cannot erect a fence. You can't put anything that's not movable.
Okay, so
On
there's
the property,
limitations based on
So
it.
there's limitations based on it. He really
Okay,
would like to, he's a corner lot and he would really like to be able to put a fence in so that he can enjoy his
Understood.
backyard.
Okay.
Everybody good? It's a pleasure.
And just another quick question.
Sure,
It says in the letter from Don that there's a copy of the easement documents and stuff, which didn't get included here, but I presume it's very similar to the documents from the previous one, basically just outlining, describing,
It is, yeah.
and letting us know that he'll pay for any cost associated with filing the paperwork and
Yep.
stuff like that. I move to approve the request to revise the existing drainage and slope easement on Cider Court
Motion by Tom Kenny.
I'll make a second.
Oh, and,
and
sorry, Tom.
authorize the town manager to sign any documents necessary.
Motion by Tom Koenig and second by Mackenzie. Any further discussion? Call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, 7-0-0. And then, next we have council to consider a request to release the amount of $90,696.21 from the wastewater capital reserve fund for the purpose of paying the sewer utility costs required by the New Hampshire Department of Transportation for the Effie Everett Turnpike widening project.
This is an interesting request that we're coming forward with. This started right around the time that both Kyle and Dawn left employment with the town. They are widening the Effie Everett Turnpike up by Dumpling Brook, which is over by St. Cobain. We have a sewer line. Do you have a presentation of that? All right. They have a sewer line that comes across the highway. By widening it, they were going to put 6 to 8 feet worth of dirt on top of our existing sewer line. So we got a contract, went out with the contractor, an engineering firm to look at it, to see what the best alternative for us is. Currently, right now, that line underneath the Effie Everett Turnpike is in a sleeve. So if something happens to it, we're not gonna leak into Dumpling Brook, it'll leak in the sleeve, and then we'd have to take care of it. By expanding Effie Everett, we looked at, do we need to, this is a one-time offer, basically, because Effie Everett's wide open, do we need to increase the pipe size? And that came back and said the pipe size, which I believe is a 13-inch pipe in that area,
I think it's a 12.
12 didn't need to be increased. However, the recommendation was to extend the sleeve on both the northerly, easterly and westerly side. And in doing this, we can't hire a contractor to do that. So the bids went out with the turnpike, when they went out in that section, and Audley won the bid. And they did this as a bid alternative, and it came in at about $75,000. However, the state puts a
10%
surcharge on it. So it comes out to $90,696.21 that the state asked the town of Merrimack to pay up front for this project so they can continue with the Effie Everett Turnpike. And that will protect our sewer line in that area with a sleeve from the beginning of the westerly side all the way across the easterly side of the turnpike.
Thanks, Paul. Barbara?
What's the surcharge for? Because
Engineering,
First of
it's
all-
oversight, construction management.
this is their project, they're widening the turnpike.
Yeah.
But we have to move our
There's
sewerage
no-
pipe.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do. It's on every project. with
And they put a
DOT,
surcharge on
And
it.
they put a surcharge on it.
Well, I don't know about the surcharge, but we do the same thing to utility companies in our rights of way. They have to pay for,
They have to pay for it.
yeah, we have to, yeah.
Yeah, but DOT puts the cert because they have, construction management. They have to review the plans. There was like 6 or 7 things the guy said that they do, and that's why they add the surcharge. And this is not just because it's Merrimack. They do this whenever they do
It's
it, and you'll see that.
It's right,
construction
it
fees.
is in the list in our backup. It's construction engineering,
Yep.
6%, $4,500. Fuel adjustment, 5,000. Reimbursement, RSA 22822
like we're being
reimbursement,
Taxed for
2,000.
the work they're making us do.
Yep, so Department overheads.
work on that.
So anyhow, yeah,
But once again, this is coming out of the sewer capital reserve fund. We have saved for these types of project in the sewer capital reserve fund. Sewer capital reserve fund is paid by user fees.
And the silver lining, I think, is the fact that we didn't have to upsize the pipe, put a complete new
Yeah.
sleeve, a new sewer line. So although the cost is high, it probably would have been 2 or 3 times that amount if we had to. So, once the road's built, if we had to go back and do it after the fact, it would be even more than that. And so due diligence wise, this was one of the first things I got hit with in February, I think it was, this came around. And so that's why we cambered the line and we put flow meters in there to make sure that the line is appropriately sized for future,
And it
which is
is.
why we hired Wright Pearson. So we feel comfortable going forward with this. This is cheaper, but it
Yeah.
should do the job.
Leo, did they give you an idea how much capacity we had left?
They basically said that they can take everything in that area, all the housing that's already built in that area through that pipe. There was
Okay.
enough capacity in the
So
pipe
it's overkill.
to, yes, to
Yeah.
take that, to take whatever we need in that area
All right,
for homes.
thanks. Anybody have anything further? Someone like to make a motion? The beg for it, it seems like.
Make a
No,
motion,
Where's
make a
Billy Boy
motion
when
to
you need him?
release the amount of $90,696.21 from the wastewater capital reserve fund for the purpose of paying for the sewer utility costs required by New Hampshire DOT for the F.E. Everett Turnpike widening project.
Second.
Friendly amendment, I know it says wastewater, it's actually the sewer infrastructure. I didn't catch that. It's the sewer infrastructure capital reserve fund.
Isn't that what I said?
They said wastewater, but yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. And also,
And authorize town manager to sign any and all necessary documentation.
Motion by Andy Hunter, seconded by Nancy Murphy. Any further discussion on that motion? Call the question. All those in favor of the motion, excuse me, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained, it's 700. Item number 6 under new business, the council to consider a request to release the amount of $5,578.54 from the wastewater capital reserve fund. Is that the correct one?
sewer infrastructure.
Sewer Infrastructure Fund for the purpose of paying the sewer utility costs required by the New Hampshire Department of Transportation for safety improvements on the New Hampshire 101A Continental Boulevard project.
So, I want to say a year and a half ago or plus, people from the state came in about widening Amherst Road 101A in that area. And by doing so, they're actually going down to Craftsman Lane off of Boston Post, and they're reconfiguring that whole intersection. In reconfiguring that whole intersection, we have some small costs associated with some sewer infrastructure that's in the area to the tune of $5,600 roughly. And this is our portion of that project.
Very good. Anybody have any further questions, comments?
Like a small amount,
Yeah, it's better than the other one.
Yeah.
replacing the sewer manhole cover.
It should be noted that we're providing. the
I was gonna say, we're providing all the material for them, they just have to plop it in place.
Put the 7 covers in place.
Yeah,
Our portion is probably, I'm guessing, is the labor to raise the structures to the new grade, and then we'll give them the covers that we buy covers every year to the tune of about $35,000 to have covers on hand for these types of projects, so.
Wouldn't they
We
have to
already
raise
own
those
them.
anyway?
Huh?
Wouldn't they have to do the raising anyway?
Well, they would, but it's sort of the similar situation that you have on F.E. Everett. It's their roadway, but it's our infrastructure. They're doing the work. They're gonna have their crews raise them. And so we have to pay.
it's, when we did DW Highway just recently, a couple of the manholes were consolidated and they had to bring a crew in. And we allowed them to bring their own crew in to raise their manholes if the state's saying, we're gonna do it for you. That's the opposite. That's just the two sides. It's similar. You got to pay for them. If they're yours, you got to pay for them to have them raised.
Nancy?
Just ready to make a motion?
Yeah, please.
Um, I move that we release the amount of $5,578.54 from the Sewer Capital Reserve Fund for the purpose of paying the sewer utility costs required by New Hampshire DOT for safety improvements on the NH 101A Continental Boulevard project, and the town manager to sign any and all necessary documentation.
Motion by Nancy Murphy, seconded by Barbara. Okay, never mind. I'm good. I answered my own question fortunately, because otherwise it might have looked foolish. Is there any further?
It's okay, you did it anyway.
If there's no further discussion on the motion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? It's 7-0-0. And then we have council to determine whether the design should, okay. This was awkwardly written for me. The council to determine whether the Wire Road US Route 3 intersection design should include traffic lights at that intersection.
Last time
It's
we,
written awkwardly here, right?
last time we
about a
talked,
circle here, a
Yeah.
rotary here, didn't
Oh,
we?
that,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
worked
no, that we
out.
got rid of.
yeah.
Oh, did we?
But-
We
but-
worked
Oh,
that
yeah.
out really early.
It
So
was a senior moment, I
the
guess.
council had this meeting with
Right.
our consultants. We went to New Hampshire DOT. New Hampshire DOT, all of a sudden, even though the gentleman sat on every call, every drawing he saw, what happened was he brought somebody else in. And to meet a traffic warrant, you have to meet so many of the warrants to have a traffic light. Well, we were up at the State House, up in the Concord, I should say, and the guy who does the traffic warrant said, "Well, the traffic warrant failed.
The traffic
Said
light.
what?
Warrant failed. We didn't meet a
Oh,
traffic
we
light."
didn't meet traffic warrants?
So we explained to him the proximity of the road and everything, and he goes, "Oh no, I know. I drive it every day." And I'm like, "All right." So we went through back and forth. We had our consultants come back, work on the traffic warrant. Now it passed. The difference is we took in Hillside Terrace in that area because we said if there's a traffic light there, more people will come down to the end of Y Road to take the left instead of cutting through and going out by vault storage. So they also had to look at putting in a turning lane over by MOA, and you'll see that. Leo is going to talk about that in a second, the turning lane. And they also talked about what kind of curbing we want to put in through the whole project. So Leo has more details because I kind of stepped back once Leo and Don got fully up to speed and they worked through this process. And really we're coming back to get the council's opinion because it's, do we put the infrastructure in or are we going to put a traffic light in? And that's really the big question as this project has moved forward. So Leo, take it away.
So we do a traffic light.
So there is a couple options. We can put the underground infrastructure in place and not put the traffic lights in place. The only thing is we wouldn't be able to include the second MYA entrance area because if we didn't have the lights at that area, we really couldn't have the left-hand turn from the northbound side. The southbound side, and we couldn't have the straight coming out of Wire Road. So we would have to have our current setup where Wire Road would come out, have a stop sign there, and it wouldn't be the best option to do. Now's the time to do this only because we could put all the infrastructure in place, we could put the lights in place, and everything is covered under this contract. So the state is providing that 80% financing where we're providing the 20%. If we do this later, it's going to be on Merrimack to provide the whole thing. So
I think the memo that was submitted to us was pretty clear. It was pretty extensive, but also correctly, in my opinion, presented the pros and cons. And to me, it it's a no-brainer, personally. Putting the infrastructure in at a future date, we have to pay the full boat. If we do it now, it's much more cost-effective, and we only pay only. The state pays 80%, we pay 20. So, in my personal opinion, I think it's a no-brainer decision to go with a light.
I agree with that assessment. If I recall, the only way we increase the flow of traffic timing by other lights is to also have a traffic signal here. But when we originally reviewed this, I think there was a lot of discussion about a left-hand turn in the southbound.
Yes.
Weren't we told that that wasn't an option and we couldn't put a left-hand?
We were told that there was going to be some reworking of the road. However, because New Hampshire DOT requested that, and actually you'll see there's a right-hand turn lane now coming out of Wire Road, something else that we talked about.
Yeah.
Those were the two other major items that DOT picked up on as well. So they asked the consultants to go back and rework it so that we can have a left-hand turn lane, because they felt that actually helped putting in the right-hand turn lane and the left-hand turn lane actually helped with the warrant to get the traffic light.
And those two additions should increase traffic flow through there even greater than what
Quicker.
we had during the presentation, correct?
Correct. And that's the other thing I want to also reiterate is that the technology that's going in would be technology now from all the way down by CVS, all the way up to Front Street or the Dunkin' Donuts. So that technology would work.
Coordination.
Coordination of pushing traffic through that area and moving it through, kind of like what is at the Continental Boulevard, Burger King, Exit 11, all those kind of the same kind of technology that the state uses to push traffic through those lights, we'd be using to push through from CVS all the way up to Front Street.
And just to be able to, it's a repetition, but I think it's worth noting, because I'd be the first one to say, yeah, that's a bunch of baloney. We're just going to have this traffic here and it's going to back up another set of lights. But I live right by Exit 11. And as soon as they modified that section, 80% better. And it had nothing to do with the flow. The amount of traffic was still there. But those mechanisms, the coordination of all those lights in that area has made a major difference. And that's why I feel comfortable in accepting the assessment that those lights will be coordinated much better than they are now. And that this light, in my personal opinion, I may eat words later, I've done it before, but I really don't think it's going to create a major problem going through that area.
Yeah, I like the changes that were made.
They said it was line of sight from one light to the next. Now, there's not a direct sight distance from this intersection
Right.
to the next light. Is that,
The way that the bridge is going to be reconfigured and wider. The way the bridge is going to be reconfigured and wider,
Okay.
they're thinking that they could get kind of a line of sight to that light.
Okay.
Or one of the, the outer pole. And all you need to do is have it to some arm infrastructure that way. And they're thinking that by doing that, if you're on the westerly side of the light, you might have a better line of sight going down because of what they're going to do. And that's going to be wider. And some of those trees are going to be out because we're making it wider because we're also putting in a sidewalk over the bridge.
Barb? Thanks, Paul.
So the only concern I have is that now we're stacking up traffic lights. So will those lights also have the bypass mechanism for emergency vehicles?
Yep.
Because fire goes ripping up there several times a day as well as police, so
Correct, yeah.
as they're heading up Reed's
So
Ferry
they would be-
Way, so.
They would be all coordinated with.
Yep, the
Okay,
traffic
so they'll be able
preemption
to shut
system
them
will-
down and move
Yeah.
them.
This traffic
Okay.
preemption system goes on every traffic signal that's in automatic, up through, that we control through town.
Okay, good.
So based on what you were saying just a minute ago with the coordination of the lights, there's on the second page, the first bullet at the end, it says proper coordination cannot be implemented today since the distance between Front Street and the Busick Road is too great to do so. Is that line saying that if we put these lights in, we will be able to coordinate?
Yes, basically, if we put this light in, we will be able to coordinate. Yes,
Today, it's too long a distance.
too
and
long a
can't do it.
distance, and you don't have the line of sight from Babuzik
Right.
Lake Road down.
I misread that originally and was wondering why we wouldn't be able to coordinate that. So
But it's from Babuzik Lake Road to Front Street. So if you put this light in, you should be able to.
there'd be a bunch in the, a group in the middle. Yep. And what's the timing on this project versus the bridge project?
It got pushed a year. So it's looking 2025. However, I was hoping that the two bridges would also be out to bid with the state, and they're not out to bid yet. So it looks like probably 24, late 24, early 25. The only saving grace on the bridges, Babuzik, right here, Babuzik Lake Road Bridge that they're replacing over the highway, is they're putting in a temporary bridge. And on Wire Road, they're building the bridge off to the northerly side. So the bridge, there's not going to be any, the bridge on Wire Road will still be the bridge on Wire Road until the other bridge is completed. Then they'll switch traffic over. So there won't be an interruption in traffic there. And when we're doing this project here on Pinenberg, the bridge by Pinenberg's, we're also going to have an alternate bridge off to the side. So yes, it will be a little bit slower when you got to go off into onto a temporary bridge, but it's going to be 2 lanes of traffic. It isn't going to be a light. You got to wait. It's not going to be one-way traffic. It's going to be 2-way traffic. So, long answer to your question. I don't know. I thought the state was supposed to be construction 24, start construction in 24 of those bridges. However, I haven't seen it gone out to bid yet, which doesn't mean anything. They can still put it out over winter and have them start in the spring.
You're talking about the bridges over the turnpike.
The turnpike, yeah.
Okay, I'm asking about the bridge over
That's gonna
on
be
DW
20
Highway
25.
25.
2025.
And this intersection work
All
is,
work, it's all part of the same project.
it's all part of the same project.
All
Okay,
part of the same project from,
good. So it is coordinated and the turn lanes and all that
Right.
with widening or whatever
yeah,
is all.
from Babuzik Lake
Okay.
Road all the way past Twin Bridge Road. It's all going to be coordinated. That's all one project.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any discussion, any further questions or comments? Seeing none?
Do we need to vote or?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a number, I'm sure.
The vote is to install a traffic signalization with the traffic light at Wire Road.
So moved
Second.
And town manager sign any necessary
as
documents.
well.
No, that too.
Motion by Nancy Harrington, seconded by Barbara. Like to further discuss your motion?
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
All those, call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained, 700. Thank you much. And, guess Leon Leo, we're good?
Thank you,
Thank you
gentlemen.
for that.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
John's gonna be very jealous that we got through this so quickly.
Make it really hard next time. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, council will consider allowing the town manager to enter into a lease agreement with Verizon Wireless to erect an 800 megahertz communications tower and to authorize the town manager to sign and execute the lease agreements. Well,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the town's been in negotiation with Verizon for the better part of 6 to 9 months. Currently, the Verizon owns a tower up off Whitetail Lane on the Brett Vaughn property. We've been in negotiation with them so we can erect our own 800 megahertz tower in that area. We finally got approval late last week from Verizon and our lawyers that they agreed to the terms of the lease. The lease is stipulated in 3 different sections. There's a construction portion of the lease, there is a after construction portion, and then there's the lease. The construction portion of the lease we built in a 2-year construction portion. Hopefully it doesn't take 2 years. That is so that the leases will coincide with the leases that Verizon has with Brett Vaughn. So they have 22 years left on their lease with Brett Vaughn and the property. We will also have that same 22 years. So this lease will go to 2045. Once the tower is erected, we will be turning the tower over to Verizon. That basically serves as our lease payment for the number of years of the 20-plus year lease that we have. In addition, we have prioritization of antenna placement. So Verizon can't come and just say, 5 years from now, we want to move your antenna down. We have to be in agreement with them. That's something that we talked about too, is prioritization of where our antenna is. This is the first leg of 800 megahertz. We knew we needed a tower in town. This was decided by Motorola and some other individuals who were well-versed in radio communications that said this is one of the better spots for a tower in town. And this will help with our 800 communication system. We may need more towers in town, but right now this is the first step of providing 800 megahertz throughout. Currently, our fire department does use 800 megahertz system. We've been informed by Motorola that by erecting this tower, it will help in their communications.
Andy?
Trying to think back, because this has been a little while. Originally we were piggybacking off of one of Nashua's towers,
We still
which
are.
was the step one.
Correct.
And then the step two was for us to erect our tower and purchase the communication shelter, I'm going to call it. Have we already done that?
We have the communication shelter. It's sitting at the highway garage, waiting to be moved to the property. We also have looked at, with Motorola, we bought the equipment that we need for the tower, and they're just waiting, once we get the tower erected, to get the equipment up to us.
Okay.
So we have that already in process.
And then I'm assuming once this tower is built, we'll evaluate where we are in town as far as communication, and then we'll go from there.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
And-
Paul.
So they just,
I do want to say the other thing is that this tower is being erected for federal funds. This is part of that $1.4 million worth of federal money that we got to help with this communication project. And that was to help us with the radios, with the communication tower, with the upgrading dispatch as well, and all the equipment that is needed.
Wasn't there a timeline issue with that as well?
Yes, we have to actually have this completed by late 2025, early 2026.
That's
So,
the time frame?
That's the time frame with that money.
And when did we get that grant? Do you remember? A long
Want
time
to
ago.
say in the spring? In the spring, because we were expecting it last year at this time. It got postponed because they were in continuing resolution, got postponed again.
That's what I was
That,
thinking
and
about.
then they
It's almost
passed the
like a year and a
budget
half
and we
ago.
got it in the spring, early summer, late spring, early summer. We got the money. Actually, I believe maybe it was last winter. It was sometime earlier this year in 2023, from February to June, I'd say. I don't have the
We thought
exact
There had
date.
been multiple discussions
Right.
before that.
Correct. Correct.
and they've assured us 95% coverage.
And Motorola has assured if we go to 800 megahertz system, there would be a 95% coverage throughout town. And like Andy, Councilor Hunter said, this is the first step to help in that process. We might need another tower. We don't know. But according to the experts, they think that we can get 95% off of this tower.
Rudy? Any other?
I'm going to make an assumption that our attorneys have, I mean, this is one thick. It's very extensive, a lot of legalese, so I'm putting a lot of faith in our attorneys.
Yeah, once the back and forth started, I reached out to our attorney and basically said, here you go. This is the document. And Verizon had a lease document. They gave it to us. She rewrote it. She gave it back to them. They rewrote it, gave it back to us. She read through it. There was some, language changes here and there. Prioritization was one of the ones that we changed in it. So there's been back and forth. Their attorney and one of their advisors that advises Verizon on this has signed off on it to move it up the chain as well.
All right,
Okay, so I move that we, to allow the town manager to enter into a lease agreement with Verizon Wireless to erect an 800 megahertz communications tower and to authorize the manager to sign and execute the lease agreements as presented.
I'll make a second.
motion by Tom Koenig, seconded by Mackenzie. Any further discussion on the motion? Barbara?
So what would be the start date for construction of the tower?
As soon as it gets signed, hopefully we'll get somebody up there to do some test bits. Actually, when I sign the document tomorrow, I'm going to ask Verizon if we can go up there and start doing some test bits so we can get a contractor in play. And then I'm hoping, I don't have a time frame, but once we get the test bits, we'll know how big a pad would need and how big of a tower we'd have to erect. So we'll have more information once we can get those test bits completed up there, which I'm hoping we can do very shortly.
Thanks, Barbara. Anything further?
No, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad we finally are at this stage and moving forward.
All right, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 6-0-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Minutes of November 16th, 2023.
And may I ask a question? Were you literally listening to us from in Aruba?
I did. I caught him when he said.
I said it then, and I'll say it again. It was pitiful.
No, Merrimack TV is wonderful.
But it's amazing we got to Aruba.
But that time I had COVID and was listening. I did sleep through most of that meeting, but I had it up.
It had
next to my
nothing to do
ear.
with the content. It had
No.
to do.
All right. Any changes or anything for those minutes? Tom?
So on page 7, the consent agenda is listed as 2 different motions. And yet each motion says that we approve the consent agenda. So I was thinking it ought to be changed to approve item number 1 of the consent agenda and then approve item number 2 of the consent agenda on lines 9 and 21. Just because they're 2 different motions, they shouldn't be
We
worded
did do
exactly
two
the same.
different.
Yep.
We moved both of them at the same time.
Page 7. The motion itself just says we did the same thing, but we actually did 2 different motions, so.
Why did we?
No, I thought we moved both of them at the same time.
thought we did. I thought you made a motion to move the consent agenda.
Yeah, we just moved, yes. It was just, Tom, you made the motion just to move the consent agenda and both of them are there. So technically we should just have
Just the one.
the one.
Well, if that's good, there should only be one at the end
Yeah.
of the 2 listings.
Yeah, right. We should take out that first one.
Yeah. That's what I thought
We'll
I'd
list
done, but
them
the way it was
together.
written up, I assume
Yeah.
somebody had paid
Well,
attention.
it was listed on the agenda 1 and 2, but when you moved it, you said
But
I moved the consent agenda as
so,
presented.
Yeah, so remove
just
the
be
one
one
on page,
vote.
on lines
Yep.
9 and 10 and
Yep.
11.
Okay.
Right, and do it on the bottom.
And then there was just a question on line 48 at the bottom, the period after December 8th is highlighted. And I wasn't sure why that would be
They're being
highlighted.
emphatic.
There's a period there.
I think,
Damn it.
I think what happened is that they had a question to me about the motion.
Oh, okay.
So it was highlighted. They forgot to take the period out. So they would know to ask me.
That's all I had. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of Town Council November 16th as amended.
Motion by,
Sec- Second.
motion by Nancy Harrington, second by Nancy Murphy. All those in favor of the amended minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? I'll abstain. 6-0-1.
Thank you.
Comments from the press? Seeing none. Comments from the public? If you'd like to address council, you can sit at the table here or stand and mic. Hi, Sean.
Thank you guys very much for your time. We appreciate everything you do, all the,
Is that on,
Either
Sean?
bring it closer or make
It
sure
is.
it's
You
on.
need to speak.
sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
just wanted to say thank you for your time. Thank you for all the time you give to our community. We appreciate it. My name's Sean Farrell. I live at 124 Wilson Hill Road. I also happen to work down at the fire department. I'd like to speak to the tower and the lease agreement that you've just given the town manager approval to pursue. I have some of my coworkers with me. We're all taxpayers. We all live in town. Some of us grew up here. Some of us went to school here. Some of us have kids who have gone to school here. So we just wanted to give you as clear a picture as possible of kind of where we're at with our current communications, where we hope to be, and really ask you for your help. This is something we really need to stay on top of. It's affecting us on basically a daily basis. You know, the public puts a lot of trust in us, and we take that trust very seriously. We want to do a good job for the people of this town, and we want to do a good job for each other as well. So I just wanted to, if it's okay, maybe clarify a couple things. You talked a little bit about the 95% coverage. I've been part of this process for about 5 years. As supervisors, we all have ancillary duties that we help out with at the fire department. Mine happens to be communications, so I'm most familiar with this, which is why I'm speaking on it tonight. I got this duty about 5 years ago. That's about the time we started to have some real issues with our communications. This folder right here is about the first 2 years worth of documented issues. It's gotten to the point where they're so frequent, people just don't even document them anymore. So the 95% coverage, I was part of that study, and the 95% coverage means the radios in our trucks, which are stronger, they put out a stronger signal than the radios we wear on our person when we go into a home or a building. The 95% coverage map is for the radios in our trucks. When we're talking about our portable radios, which is what we wear on our person, we go into your house to help you or whatever it is that we're there to do. It's a totally different story. They put out a much different signal. The tower is a fantastic thing. It's a great first step. There's no doubt about that. I just want to be clear that no one, I don't think, anticipates that it's going to be a silver bullet or a magic tower that's going to solve all of our issues. I know we're coming up on budget meetings. I see that you have one more regular meeting before your budget sessions start. And I would just ask if it's possible for you folks to maybe ask some questions about some of the other layers that will assist us that could be put into place in our overall communication system, and maybe consider that in your upcoming budget sessions. Because if these things aren't addressed in this budget cycle and we wait till the next cycle, the soonest we could see any improvements made would be obviously July of 25, right? So from our perspective, there's a real time crunch on this. I can tell you that in the past 6 weeks, on calls I've been on alone, we've had multiple complete communications failures. 2 of them were critical EMS incidents. We had no ability to get communications out of a house twice. One time, a crew was asking another crew to bring in more equipment. They were unable to get that message out. They switched to our backup plan, which I think you guys were briefed on a couple weeks ago. The backup plan is essentially our old system, which we're purposely moving away from because we know it doesn't work the way we need it to. So we're essentially using one system that's not complete as our primary, and our backup is the system we're trying to move away from. So I just want everybody to be clear so that you understand what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Because really all we want to do is the best job possible we can. So we have, these are not fictitious make-believe type scenarios. This is stuff we're dealing with on a daily basis. I know some of you have family members working at other fire departments who have been involved in very serious incidents where communications were key to a positive outcome. And if that were the case, if that were different, the outcome may have been different as well. I'm sure everybody's aware of the call we had recently on the highway where we had a series of brush fires that stretched maybe 3 or 4 miles. We had to call in mutual aid companies. One of the mutual aid companies who came in has a former member of Merrimack Fire on that piece of apparatus coming in from a different town. They had such a difficult time communicating with us on the radio that they were calling us on their cell phones to our cell phones. Again, not trying to be overly dramatic, just trying to give you an accurate picture of what we are dealing with on a daily basis. There are multiple levels to a communication system. Just to give you a very brief example, Nashua has 3 tower sites, and they have dozens of what you would, I guess, call booster sites. The town of Hudson, which is similar to us, they have 2 main sites, and they have close to a dozen booster sites as well. Londonderry across the river has a slightly different system than us, but they have 9 different sites. Manchester's system is similar to Nashua, which will be similar to the system we're on. They also have 3 sites and then multiple, essentially, booster sites. So while the tower is a great first step, I think we just want to be clear that you all understand that it is a first step, and we can only do so much. We need your help. So I guess I don't really have anything too much more to say other than we need your help. We want to be part of the solution. We would appreciate any input you would give us, any ability to help you with planning, help you with information. But we're already talking about the tower potentially taking another 2 years, which means for now, we're going to be dealing with EMS calls where we can't call for more help, fire calls where we can't talk to our mutual aid partners. So if there's anything we can do to help you, help us, please come see us anytime, contact any of us anytime. I'd be happy to give you my cell phone, my email. We just have real concerns, and these are daily things that are occurring. And if there's anything we can do to help you in the planning process, we want to do that. So,
Thank you, Sean.
all right, thank you.
Is there anybody further who would like to address the council? Step to the mic over here or sit here. Seeing none, I just want the town to know that the councils, we're updated regularly on not just this, but many issues. Paul McCallie, our town manager's done that for his tenure. He's been our town manager, and we, we've been kept very up to date. There's no community that has 100% coverage, and we understand difficulties. We know how we've been working on this. I've been participating in this for years, and it's always been issues we've been trying to deal with. So I want the community to know that they're in a safe spot, and we're doing the best we can to get this expedited, and hopefully it'll be up sooner than later, and that's the best we can do. Is there any comments from the council? Any further comments? Nope, seeing none. Somebody like to move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second. Motion by Andy Hunter, second by Tom Koenig. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained, 7-0-0. Thank you very much.